Paul, you had a full week of preparation after a busy start with 4 games in 2 weeks. How's it been out there on the training pitch this week?
Good. Long. It shouldn't really be that way, but it just feels like it's been a long time, a long week, just because of not having that midweek game, which, as you said, pre-season and the start of the season, that's what you get used to. So it's been nice in a way, don't get me wrong, but that Mansfield game seems a long time ago.
And you're 5 points from opening 4 games. What's your view on the start you've had?
I think we've had a reasonably good start, because I'll look at performance, as we know we need points, but ultimately I think the more performances you get and the level of those will give you the points that you also require and crave. I think when we look at it, everyone I think looked at his fixtures list and was looking at the Wimbledon game and thinking, let's win that one. Nothing ever works out like that, and you only have to look at how they've done. I'll try and stop short of mentioning tables, because I don't believe in them, but as in they have had some really good results. I think they were unbeaten in pre-season and are still unbeaten, I think I'm right in saying. So that shows, I think, how we performed on that day. I thought we were kind of the better side for quite a bit of it, albeit we said they carried a threat. And then the only disappointment was the cup game. I think I made changes for that. That clearly didn't help us. Yes, we were up against a very good team, as we saw again last weekend, but I think you saw a better performance, and certainly towards a more even game. So in the defeat at Notts County, there are lots of positives there for me. So the level of performance has been relatively good. Just hoping that we can keep that going, keep trying to build and improve, and hopefully if that does happen, then I'm pretty confident you'll see more points accumulated.
And you've touched there on the team continuing to improve. What areas are you looking at for your team to improve on from Saturday going into Walsall game?
I think sometimes looking after the ball. There's certain aspects of our play that are often regular themes that we're looking at, and I guess it's trying to get better at those all the time. We can't give away silly goals like we did, because as much as it, again, I'm fair, Mansfield certainly deserved to take something from the game, but the goal that actually contributed to them getting something was avoidable. So we have to try and cut those mistakes out, certainly. But we want to try and be a little bit more of a threat. But I think sometimes you have to look at the teams we're up against, how games are, and maybe how we've limited, like Salford, for example. I don't think they had too many sort of real moments in the game where they cut us apart. So always trying to get that and carry more of a threat. And with the players that we've got, I'm certainly hopeful that will come as well.
Just looking at the squad you have available, I gather Niall Maher's back in contention to play.
Yes, he's trained. He actually trained last Friday, but was never really in my thoughts. We lost a centre half, prior to the game, or Saturday morning through illness, something like that, then he might have come into sort of emergency contention, if you like. But he's trained this week, so he'll definitely be part of the squad.
And Donovan and Otis, they're a bit further behind, aren't they?
Yeah, Otis we were hoping would have been almost ready to possibly train today with the team. Again, from the amount of time he's missed, perhaps a big ask to then suddenly be involved, but he's a very small sort of delay, but as not quite, he just felt his calf a little bit this week, more stiffness than anything I think major to worry about. So I think we're looking sort of next week, hoping to get him back out there. And Donovan's just sort of on course still for what we think. Started to do some running, and hoping next week he will be out on the grass to continue that step up in his rehab.
And looking at this weekend's opponents, Walsall have started with 1 win from the first 4 in the league like ourselves. What do you make of them so far this season?
Well, they've got a manager that we know well, myself and Chris, from him being our captain at Shrewsbury, and formed a very good relationship with him was extremely good for us, and he'll be looking to, he had some games last year, but his first full season, trying to put his stamp on the team, and again that'll take some time, but they've scored goals, they've conceded more than I know Matt will be happy with, because I know they've done a lot of work, on trying to avoid that, but it's not always, again, the setup. Sometimes it's more individual goals and errors that could contribute to it. So we know they'll be extremely hard working, well organised team, and yeah, I think for me every game is tough anyway. For us, like I say, I'm looking to, can we put in another good performance, and can we come away with the same result as we did last season? That was a strange game in itself, where we were certainly second best, then got sort of back into the game, and in the end ended up winning it when we were the team that was on top. But certainly how the game started, you wouldn't have thought that would have been the outcome on that day, and that's how football can be sometimes. Hopefully it can be good, or pretty good, from minute 1 to 90, whatever, if it is that, and we can come away happy with performance and points.